Trey Lance played FCS football. I played 1AA football. He played 1 year as a redshirt freshman, and that's it. Then he played one game this fall, and now he's supposedly a top 10 pick. So he's got his pro day today. I guess the first question, Dane, is this like the most important pro day ever? I mean, where do you put this in the pro day all-time importance rankings? There's no combine. He played 1 year of FCS football.
Right. Obviously, this pro day carries a little bit extra weight, just with, you set it up, 17 starts at the college level. He's an unprecedented evaluation. There's no other way to say it. Obviously, we've seen players from the FCS level go to the NFL at quarterback, find success. Carson Wentz, Jimmy Garoppolo, go back to Steve McNair. But we've never seen an FCS quarterback with, only 20 years old with such meager experience, but also have his talent level go to the NFL like this. So only 17 career starts, and none of those starts against FBS competition. A lot of times, he might have one game against Iowa State or something like that. Not with him. And because he's only a redshirt sophomore, we don't have the benefit of the Senior Bowl or, to see him with better competition. That's something that really helped Carson Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo when they were coming out as seniors. So it's really an unprecedented evaluation. And that's not a reason to not draft him, but it does make it a little bit more of a challenge, especially because at North Dakota State, they have their offensive identity. They're not going to change just because they have maybe a higher level quarterback. In his 17 career starts, Lance averaged 18.6 pass attempts per game, while the team averaged 45 rush attempts per game. So this is not a quarterback that had to put the team on his back and make things happen. He did it plenty of times, but that's not how the offense is set up. So his pro day today is going to be well attended by NFL teams, just like his one game was back in October. And they want to see him throw the ball, how the ball comes off his hand. But more importantly, it's going to be about the interviews for Trey Lance. Where is he mentally in his development? I thought North Dakota State did a really nice job in terms of getting him ready for this moment. Quincy Avery, his quarterback trainer, who works with a lot of NFL quarterbacks like Deshaun Watson, he's told me how advanced he is for a 20-year-old. And that goes back to North Dakota State and what they do during the week in terms of putting more and more on his plate, preparation techniques, things like that. So on game day, he can set protections. He can make checks, do all these things, have that freedom. So even though he is 20 years old, even though he has meager experience, I think teams are going to be impressed when they have a chance to sit down with him and really talk to him. Unfortunately, this year, it's just going to be all virtual. In past years, they'd be taking him out for dinner last night before the pro day. We're out for lunch today after the pro day. Not going to have that opportunity this year. It's all going to be virtual. So just everything's different. And that's going to make it really interesting for a player like this, who's, again, such as an unprecedented evaluation.
So, Dane, I know you know this. How did he get to North Dakota State? I mean, he's 6'4", 220. I've seen him throw a beautiful deep ball. He's got a strong arm. I was reading the next gen stats. He's got 4 carries over 20 miles an hour. Like he appears to be a total physical freak show. How did he get to North Dakota State in the first place? How does that happen?
Born and raised in a small town in Minnesota, about 150 miles west of Minneapolis. So, that's the first thing. He was really a running back most of his life until he got to high school, and they moved him to quarterback, becomes a starter as a sophomore, and it kind of grew from there. He got better and better. But, even as a senior, he was playing safety. He had 54 tackles and 3 interceptions as a senior safety, which you don't see a lot, with these top quarterbacks. Usually they're quarterback only, and that's it. They're going to quarterback camp since they were 10 years old. That just wasn't the case with Trey Lance. And so as a recruit, a couple FBS teams did look at him. Western Michigan, they offered him right before signing day. Boise State got in the mix a little bit later. But at that point, he was already set on North Dakota State. And, he goes there, red shirts, and then has that prolific redshirt freshman year where he had 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Just a remarkable redshirt freshman campaign, led North Dakota State to the FCS national title. Drew it up, textbook, what you want. But it's the only season we have to go off of aside from that one game in October. So the sample size isn't great, but the talent is sure intriguing.
Talking with Dane Brugler from The Athletic, at B. Brugler on Twitter. By the way, Dane's the only one that knows 54 tackles for Trey Lance as a senior in high school. Nobody else knows that. 54 tackles, 3 interceptions. I guess the last one on Lance, because I want to ask you about a couple other guys, is there a player in the NFL comparison that you like? And has there ever been another circumstance like this where a guy really only played 1 year?
We've seen guys, at the quarterback position play one season. Mitchell Trubisky, obviously, that was a lot talked about during his lead up to the draft. But the one quarterback where you can draw some comparisons is Kyler Murray. When you think about the skill set, now Lance is bigger, and Kyler is a little quicker. But in terms of the sample size, the number of starts, it's similar. In terms of, on tape, you see a lot of one read and run throws, but you see a smart guy who's able to create. He has the arm talent, but he also has the mobility. So I think there's some comparisons there, just in terms of style. Now, again, Lance is bigger, not quite as quick. But, in terms of what they did at the college level and what they could do at the next level, I think there's some similarities. So, but this is unprecedented, really. When you talk about a player from the FCS level having such meager experience and not having the benefit of the Senior Bowl. Carson Wentz, he was only a year and a half starter at North Dakota State. But him going to the Senior Bowl really helped himself. That went from he could probably be a first-round pick to all of a sudden he's in the top 3 mix and the Eagles are trading up for him. So not having the Senior Bowl, not having the combine, it's a missed opportunity, unfortunately. But again, that's not the reason not to draft him. It just makes it a little bit more of a challenge when you try to figure out, okay, where does he stack, especially in a class like this where there's a lot of other quarterbacks with Lawrence and Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. So plenty of options at quarterback in this class.